Law. Let's do it. At W. Yo, Druid spawns in naked. Let's fucking go. Lightning, that's the skill. This is the one. This has lightning skills. This is the one.
He's determined to find his lost wife and regain his humanity. The
Man
druid has
Kirk's
been one of the
wife.
hardest classes for us to design.
Has anyone
As
found
well
Man
as
Kirk's
having human
wife?
spells.
The palace of Queen Atziri.
I only
It
saw
is in
two.
ruin.
The temple is powered by sacrifice.
Four of them.
And this energy can be... Then clicking this button will allow you to create a currency item instead,
God bless.
allowing you to do the craft later or trade
We
it if
could
you
have
want.
done that with fucking Ashing 4. We
Now,
could have
there
done it that
are all
simply.
sorts of interesting rooms you can find in the temple.
Instead, Betrayal got
But
nerfed
the
6
last
things in a
one I
row.
want to show you today is the Flesh Surgeon. Right as Atziri communes with the
Or-
beast's power,
Alrighty, so here's the bit. We're going to go top to bottom. Not going to do any control Fing, not going to do any of that bullshit. We're going top to bottom, reading the things that are important, and that's about it. Tailwind now grants a 1% move speed, 2% skill speed instead of 3%, 10% evasion instead of 15%, and some extra deflection mitigation. Deadeye nerfed. I mean, the move speed is still the same. Evasion's a little bit lower, skill speed is a little bit lower. But this was only 10% move speed before, right? Either way, good enough. Deadeye nerfed, crossed off. PDR from armor can no longer cause it to deal 0 damage. This is most targeted preventing cases where multi-hitting player skills can deal 0 damage to armored monsters at very low levels. Interesting. I never knew that was a problem with player skills dealing 0 damage, but cool. In most cases, this would never matter. Wind Ward removed. Yo! There goes like all of Deadeye max hit defense. God damn. But you get more points to spend on offense. But god damn, Deadeye nerfed. Love it. Fuck Deadeye. We're playing Druid only. Pathfinder. Don't know what that is. Don't know what that is. Cannot be heavy stun while sprinting. Yo, friendship with Deadeye gone. Pathfinder friendship has arrived. Unfortunately, this means heavy stun is still in the game. Yo, Scion. So you can choose multiples of these. Each one is trading 1 ascendancy point for 4 passive points, and you can go to the starting locations of various classes. Going to Witch Start can help get a bunch of ES %. Going to Warrior Start, don't. After your passive skills offer additional options. Yeah, that makes sense. So, I mean, 5% increased damage. We figured out what dexterity gives, I guess. Kind of need stats. Once you have good gear with the stat changes, you could, in theory, yeah, like global defense is really good. I think builds typically have like 30 travel nodes, like 30-ish, 35 maybe. So if you somehow weren't stat hungry, you could do that, or like 120% evasion NES, that could be really good. But you know, you need really good gear to be doing this. Like really, really, really good gear to do this. Like that's like every third skill is like huge. I wonder if you can animation cancel these to just like, that'd be super annoying to play, but it'd be neat. The whole like remnant shit just sounds so bad to me. Just like conceptually, like I never want to deal with any of that shit. Unless my character is like strong enough that I can just basically like one shot all the full screen in front of me and then pick up the remnants while I'm looting their corpses. Because like anything other than that, like I don't want to ever deal with that. Not when you move so slow. Like walking around to pick up things off the ground is like, I don't want to do that. 50% of hit damage dealt to them while cursed again when the curse expires. How long is the curse? I mean, that's just 50% more damage as a curse. It ignores the curse limit, but you have to wait for it to expire, so only on like actual bosses that would live the full duration of a curse. It doesn't list it as like life removal. It listed as hit damage dealt to them again, which could double dip on mechanics like resist shred, right? It might have protection, so it doesn't work that way, but the way this is worded sounds like it could double dip. It just has no ailments. So if you had like a bunch of shred and shock, it'd actually be way more than 50%. But who knows? It just depends on if it's allowed to be scaled by those multipliers twice. Because if so, there'd be a lot of double dipping here that would make it more like double damage. Gearsmaker's effect too. Yeah, true, with like some tree stuff. But it just requires the target to live for 7 seconds. Or like 3, I guess, if you're gonna like But the whole curse delay thing still exists. I can't believe curses still have a delay. The delay is the cast time. It's like it's fucking 1.5 seconds before it activates. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Passive skill tree changes. Shroud is basically dead. Oh shit. It was super OP. Okay. Wow. This is probably gonna be a lot. Hollow Palm Keystone. Nerfed massively. Was this actually strong? It was? Love that. Yeah, like this is a, what, 15% multiplier to your base attack speed? But presumably this number was like at least double attack speed, right? Like triple attack speed? How much did you have? 2,000? 50 to 25% nerfed, but buffed at low gear levels. Reduce movement penalty from the tree. Have had their values lowered. So fuck Roas, but what? Dude, these points felt so fucking bad to spec into, but you had to do it because like your character just moves so slow when casting. So now instead of spending 10 points so your character is a little bit faster when attacking, it's 15 for the same. Bro, the passive tree is already dog shit. Why is the passive tree being nerfed? And like anyway, 3 new attack area clusters to the monk part of the tree. This is really big for monk. It was very annoying when playing monk, and it's like, okay, if I want to get increased area effect, it's from a single anoint, and that's it. There's just no support for it anywhere on the tree, so that's good. They actually have an ability to scale area, and Ranger will also make use of these for non-proj based setups. Added some proj speed clusters to the passive tree in the Merc section, which could be a bow buff. Because isn't it, yeah, there's this thing over here for increases introductions to apply to damage with bows. But I think you often didn't even always take this because there's so little proj speed scaling. If these are good, that could be a bow buff. Surpassing chance to fire an additional arrow. So yeah, this is the new bit with extra proj. And basically what surpassing chance means is it can scale past 100%. Added the new bow cluster and modified a proj cluster in the ranger side of the tree, granting surpassing chance to fire an additional arrow. Additional arrow wasn't on the tree, right? It was only on... Or was it? By default? It was only on Deadeye itself, right? Like Deadeye and Dual String? So now you can actually spend points to get extra arrows in the tree. Yeah, but it's additional arrow, which means it's bows only, not crossbows. Why is so much support being added for like remnant pickup range? Just make it bigger baseline. Ooh, Wildstorm fucked up. Like Wildstorm sucks really bad now. Like you're never gonna path there. Because companion nodes were actually high value per point things to click, and there's like none of those in this tree. They were broken. They were about the power level that tree nodes should be. While every other node is like fucking half. Einhard's Beast right now grants killing blows against rare monsters. Now grant 2 of the modifiers for 5 minutes. That's pretty good. But it's like supported strike skills. So basically like you just culling strike default attack a rare monster with this when it has the mods you want. Like when you see good mods, you see Haste Aura, boom, culling strike. Yoink my fucking 5-minute Haste Aura. Minions shouldn't exist. Chance to loadable all skills on killing the most supported skills. Damn. 100%, you can just blast the fuck off. Crossbow buffs, log in. Impact shockwave support now actually makes aftershocks, allowing interaction with aftershock specific area. Yo, this didn't work that way? Oh fuck, I thought it did. And now you can strike and proc shockwave. Your splash and shockwave. Damn. I didn't realize you couldn't do that. Skill changes. Frozen mantle monsters can once again no longer be bound as a specter. Ha! This is, 0.1% of the way to there being no minions of the game. Like, it's progress, it's progress. We take it. Minion buff. That's regression, but it is what it is. Palm skill movement has been adjusted to reduce cases in which the player successfully uses the skill but fails to hit the enemy after dashing. Love that. One thing that was always super annoying about using, I forgot what it was called, but it was like a palm skill where you dash so that the target, that you're targeting with your cursor, and then like apply a debuff to them and things around them. It, for some reason, used pathfinding instead of being an actual teleport. So if there was like 2 monsters in front of you and you picked the one in the back of the pack, your character would just like stop early and not go where you told it to go, and it just felt like shit. So hopefully that's like this. You can now overabundance your earthquake. Wait, isn't overabundance 50% reduced duration? Isn't that really good for earthquake? Why don't you know I'm talking about PoE 2? Come on. Be smarter. So yeah, like +1 limit, so you actually can attack a second time before it explodes, and a huge restoration multiplier. Now the only problem with earthquake is that it's like 2 pixels wide, and you still can't spawn a second earthquake inside of an earthquake, right? You have to like move out of the earthquake range or some shit first. So it's not going to fix the actual problem with the skill, or one of the problems with the skill, where you can't stack them. Like you already have more than one limit, and this isn't fixing that problem. So just like an extra version of less skill duration. So log out. Log out. But yeah, like if your build sucks, you can use that for 30 spirit to do more damage when you're fighting bosses. It's like a replacement for like your herald for when you fight bosses basically now. Definitely will be used. Freezing mark only grants an explosion. Instead it gives it freezing the marked target grants a buff that grants damage extra as cold for a duration. This is good for the wolf thing. You can, proc your freezing mark by just using your ability without actually freezing them. So whenever you're fighting things that are tanky at all, you just have extra damage as cold. Ghost Dance. Let's see our Ghost Dance nerf. 3 shrouds instead of 5, or was it even 6 at 21? I forgot. You gain the shrouds way slower. That's still really good. I think the quality nerf made it like 20% worse. But on any endgame evasion yes build, this is still one of, if not the most powerful defensive reserve in the game. Because you have less duration on these things, so it's actually like 4 seconds or whatever of like per shroud, and like when you have a bunch of evasion, you don't actually even get hit that often on a good build that clears screens, so it's still really good. Herald of Thunder nerfed again. I love how heralds were like so absurdly fucking broken, and they've gotten nerfed like every single patch. Just consistently, constantly. Why? I went and got a fucking remnant. I did some bullshit with a different skill to go and get a remnant. I walked on it on the ground to pick it up. Why the fuck is there still a downside? Why is there an extra downside? The downside was all that bullshit I already did. Also, quickly dashes and strikes additional valid targets. Is that like built-in uncontrollable multi-strike? I mean, it's kind of cool. Lightning Arrow no longer bypasses the charge time on Lightning Rod burst. Instead, the burst caused by Lightning Arrow can occur once every 0.1 seconds. Proj now convert 80% instead of 40%, and Beam converts 100%. So basically, Lightning Rod itself, if you don't think about Rod, like just Lightning Arrow, sorry, if you're just using Lightning Arrow to clear maps, it's actually buffed. Like once you were strong enough that you didn't rely on rods to like kill rare monsters. Conduit's still a little better, probably still has a 2-second cast time. Lightning Rod, the limit of active rods is now 10. So what this means is there's no longer chain stuff, right? I mean, I guess there still would be chain stuff. The burst caused by Lightning Arrow can only occur once every 0.1 second. I feel like that's going to be on a per rod basis, and you have to deal with the charge up time. It's not going to be instant. The thing is, when you use chain with Lightning Arrow, this shit took like fucking 2 seconds to actually chain through all of your rods. It chains very slowly, or at least it did. Well, I'll have to play it and see. Limit's not 10 instead of 20. I'm sure this will be a meaningful nerf, but by far the biggest nerf that I've seen so far is just Windward is gone and Tailwind is a little worse. Like this will probably hurt a little bit. It's impossible to really know until I play it how much of a nerf that actually is. But you're gonna shock a lot more easily with Lightning Arrow, with the base arrow at least. Probably still OP. Bows are the favorite child of this game, very clearly. So probably still OP. Hopefully this actually works, because I think the quality on this didn't work before. But if this actually has 3-second lingering, that would help a ton for a lot of lightning spellcasters. Just drop the Tempest, run out of it, drop it, run out of it constantly. Perfect Strike, buffed. Let's fucking go, Karn. Warrior buff, slug in. Robo Mount just reverted back to what it was before. So it's going to feel pretty much the exact same as it did last patch while attacking, but when not attacking, you're not just faster. Robo Mount still going to be used on every single bow build, probably, even without with companion nodes nerfed. Like removing light stun, not having to worry about sprint being shit. Probably still always gonna play with this. God, Vanish Shards wasn't even nerfed, right? Because that's G. That's way back there. And I don't see a Shock Burst nerf either, so crossbow's still eating good. The nerf's still like the reduced move penalty stuff annoying, but is what it is. Still offering. All right, Spark. Show me it. What's the Spark buff? Cold Infused Spark buffed by a very tiny amount. I just like I don't fuck with any of this infusion stuff at all. Like none of that is at all exciting to me or the kind of thing that I ever see myself wanting to engage with. And tying like spellcaster power to them just means I'm never gonna play spells. Looking at balls is fun. It's just like the payoff for an infusion needs to be really high, and the payoff for infusions makes your skill take longer to cast. Like that's crazy. That an infusion could ever have a downside to the skill. It's just wild. Sunder. So you might read this and think, oh, Sunder attacks slower now because you're assuming this is 35% less attack speed, but it's actually 35% of your attack speed because the skill has a 65% less attack speed penalty. So Sunder attacks, what is this, like 12% faster? 15% faster? Still next week? Yeah, it's still fucking crazy. Because it doesn't the skill, actually no, I think it no longer has like a attack time penalty, right? It only has just a disgustingly slow attack speed. You just gotta find a way to get like 400% increased attack speed, and then you're fine. Wind Dance. No, the Wind Dancer damage nerf. This was such a dumb build, but I loved it. Soft's Blood's a lot better for fire stuff. Damn, all these Breach necks just give you a ton of resist. Yeah, so like a lot of uniques are just having their like base defensive stats buff, so they're not like as shitty to wear. Wait, this went from less damage to more damage? What is this? Wait, was it a bug? Was it a typo before? Why would this have ever been less? Defiance of Destiny buffed? Fucking 30% Defiance of Destiny in this game. Wrathpith nerfed. Wrathpith nerfed? It's, can we talk about how like the Blood Mage is gonna do like 80% less damage? With like the nerf to the gem and like the nerf to this, if they even use this shit, and like, but like bows are probably still gonna one-shot the screen while moving faster than everyone else. Oh damn, that's a huge exposure on that Whispering Ice. Is this like a really good like weapon swap stick now? The Brass Dome is still unusable trash, right? Let's check. Like all we gotta do is just get this max res number and just go ahead and put a plus there instead of a minus, and we're good to go. But that is actually a decent armor value now, at least, because it used to just be so trash that like a rare, like a perfect world rare, just gave you more armor anyways, and then you also had downsides. But now at least it actually probably will be the highest armor you can ever get from a chest. Maybe Foulborn saves it. The thing with Foulborn, every single Foulborn option is like, it's handpicked. They're not random, so like things that are deemed to be too strong wouldn't be allowed. This is like 15% increased life. What is this? Body armor. Oh shit, it's the Leech Overflow chest. Actually useful now. Like very useful now. Because like Leech Overflow is 50% more life in theory if you maintain it at full always. And then the downside used to be so severe that you would never consider it, but now it's an upside instead. So like putting this on can go from like 3k life to like probably 5k-ish. Is it the same as Overleech? No, it's not Overleech. It just means your leech takes you to 1.5 times your life and then stops. It still turns off. But like it's actually, you could wear this item now. Whereas before, nah. All damage taken chills you. This is like my ring, but well, it's like this is the mod for my ring, but then this is a winter heart or whatever it's called, winter chill thing. So the self hit chill reverse. Downside is you're wearing a body armor that has nothing on it defensively, but self chill.
Water your plants to give them
No
various extra
way!
abilities. Use lightning storm
Water
to
your
last longer and attach more vines to each enemy, slowing them further. Summon threshing vines to slam at your enemies for a time. Any that are created in water will be larger and deal more damage.
There's no way
Enemies
that's real.
sufficiently subdued.
More spirit per socket. Damn, the Arbiter chest got like everything buffed. Although after its nerf, it did get pretty shitty. Wind of the Forest now has increased movement speed instead of 0. What? And has 1% per 600 evasion, but it's capped. How much evasion do you, like, you only need, I mean, shit. Were people actually playing this in PoE 2 and getting it like way past 75%? Oh right, I forgot. It has this downside in PoE 2. I forgot about that one. So you're never going faster than 75% speed. Which, like, you're already faster without using some shitty chest on good ranger builds. Never going slower. Yeah, true, like, reductions wouldn't fuck you. But, like, how many move speed slows are there? Like, most things that are bad are action speed slows, I think. Which maybe would be move speed in this game. I'm not sure if they're different in this game. Because with PoE1 logic, chilled ground would still chill you the exact same with that downside. For stack them up, yeah, makes sense. Okay, Skin of the Loyal is way better. Uncapped instead of overcapped. So if you had 100 before, you have 25, now you have 100. The issue is your body armor gives you so, like, such a large percentage of your base stat comes from your body armor. So like you get like a good chunk of increase, or like, you know, 120, 130, 150 maybe, based on how high you go. But you lose such a huge amount of base that you're almost always going to end up with less. But yeah, so they're adding limits to a bunch of runes. Damn. That's way more than I thought they were going to be adding limits to. I know the +1 arrow one is in here somewhere. But yeah, I don't know what all these do. I don't really care. Yeah, like the move speed rune, I assume, is one of the Feral is the move speed one of the chase. That's exactly what I thought 0.4 needed, was like players to move slower and have less ways to scale that in the end game. So now it's only 1 arrow from the bow instead of fucking like 4 or something. The modifiers for bow attacks fire X additional arrows must have been disabled because they roll as a surpassing thing. To fire an additional arrow from a small amount early on to eventually the same 2 additional eventually. I'm pretty sure for everyone that wasn't using multiple of this really, what I assume was expensive rune, you're actually going to have more arrows than before because they're adding points in the tree for it. Yeah, 200% surpassing chance is 2 extra proj. Anvil mauls do less damage. I thought that whole speech they gave in the Q&A was that things with implicits were no longer going to have these huge penalties. Did I misunderstand? And it was things that didn't have implicits now have implicits and do reduce damage? Silly me. Oh, Great Hammer attacks slower. That's important. This is not even close to a 10% damage increase. Because you have flat sources from things that are not just the base of the weapon. And this will be worse. Less pack size. Like, this could result in an increase to loot, assuming these words are taken literally. Less pack size will not mean less rare monsters. It'll mean less pack size. Number of monster packs is the thing that would reduce rare monsters. And because all loot in this game is rare monsters, having less pack size but higher loot rare monsters should result in more loot by a pretty good amount of an increase. Yeah, this is the new version of quantity. Basically, instead of just getting more loot, it makes the monsters have increased life, increased experience gained, and increased loot. So it's not just free extra stuff, it's more life, more loot, more experience. That will mean it's not just worse. No. It means you get more experience than before, but it means they're tankier than before. So like once you're strong, this is just better than quantity. When you're weak, it's worse. But based on how PoE2 endgame mapping looks like, you know, like more effectiveness is not even going to be noticeable on like any real endgame character in software trade. Oh shit. Risk can roll on tablets again. 2 extra random modifiers log in. The floor on tablets is less bad. Like the roll range is a little bit better. Instead of 10 to 30, 18 to 30 for a lot of these things. It's like hitting the good mod you wanted and then having it just be fucking 10. Pretty much all of these are just like the roll range is smaller. And the haste mod that rolled on maps is a much smaller value. Ooh, that's a very nice buff to breach. Instead of them having Soul Eater, which did fucking nothing for you, at least I think it did nothing for you. It might have given them effectiveness as well as like an archer modifier, but it's only onslaught now instead, so they move to you faster and die faster, and they have effectiveness for more loot. Their fog's less shitty, but also because instilling is gone, it's no longer forced in every map. Oh shit, there's just no longer a reward bar indicator. They just drop when you kill them. That's neat. Remove the camera zoom out on tower maps. Can't remind the players that we have the technology to zoom you out. Are we crossbowing? Fuck no. We're playing Druid through the campaign. Bosses now have an anti-burst damage mechanic. Once flash is finished, it's emerge or becomes aggro. The damage period starts cutting down. The DR tapers down from Volvet to effect over the course of this duration. For every unit the boss moves from its starting location, the DR will fall even faster. Why is it based on them moving? That's weird. But like this is already in the game, right? I mean, this is very similar. It sounds like this is just when it spawns. But this wasn't in PoE2 yet? It's like PoE1's always had this. But also in PoE1, I don't think it works properly. I'm not fully certain on this, but I'm like 99% certain they don't have this damage reduction for the first tick. So if you attack fast enough and have the screen covered in shit, like you'll notice like on like harvest monsters, they'll like just like shoot down to half HP and then take very little damage for like 2 seconds. And when I was doing like the trap build one-shotting Eater of World build, my character was able to one-shot tank mods that shouldn't have been possible. So like I'm pretty sure it just doesn't even work on the first server tick. Like finished its emerge or becomes aggro to me really says it's only at the start. I'd be surprised if this is after like every single invuln phase. And it doesn't tell you what the duration is, which sucks, but yeah, the ES nerf isn't listed in this patch note. But Mark said it happened. So it probably happened. Not gonna know anything relevant that will help me until we get gem info, which is probably gonna be in like 6 days for Druid. Yeah, I mean the Ghost Dance nerf is like decently big, but it's still a really good gem. And the tree, yeah, the tree for sure. Need the tree and gems before I can, or before I care to think about this anymore. And also, like, whatever additional changes happen from now until then. Less monsters and ES buff. I mean, I wouldn't say that. Like, it's technically kind of true, but if you were genuinely relying on, like, delayed recharge to get your ES back, and your build, like, couldn't kill the screen, I guess it's true, but, like, in reality, when you spec into recharge, it's really fast, and then you also have Convalescence, and you have Ghost Shrouds, and you have, like, Shav Belt with Life Lasts, and you have, like, a lot of things you can do. If you're more powerful monsters, it's an armor nerf. Well, the monsters don't do more damage. They only have more life, experience, and quantity. Invoker Ghost Shrouds should be good for hardcore. The issue is, like, +1 prod is really good on Gallop Shards, and you can only get that from Deadeye. But it's really good for the clear of that skill. It's not required by any means. Like you can play Gallop Shards on a lot of different setups, for sure. But yeah, like Tailwind nerf, Wind Ward gone. Definitely could see non-Deadeye for that now. I wonder if Pathfinder could be a thing. Like Pathfinder, if you have good enough gear that all your travel nodes are 5% global defenses, it's pretty fucking good on evasion ES builds. Especially if the nerf to ES is the tree nodes being nerfed.